Street food, a serving of the best meat, bhajis, dumplings and desserts, created by small teams with lots of talent and enjoyed by a hungry and enthusiastic crowd.
Birmingham has a really good reputation for food these days, but a lot of attention is focused on the high-end Michelin-starred restaurants, and they tend to be a bit pricey. But this is Digbeth Dining Club, and people come here for some of the best and most affordable food anywhere in the city.
We may be in a car park in Digbeth, but is this food from a simple stall actually restaurant quality? Well, we asked the emperor of Birmingham's restaurant scene for his opinion, Michelin-starred TV chef and fellow beard owner Glyn.
Have you heard of Digbeth Dining Club? Have you been here before?
I haven't been here before, and I've heard of it because there's been a lot of noise coming, and that's not just from the customers, that's the drum that's beating about what a fantastic place it is on a Friday. Finish work, get yourself down here, so I've missed out really.
Well, you don't often get the chance to show Glyn food in Birmingham that he hasn't tried before.
So what do you think, Glyn?
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, the smell, the sound, the first time I've been here, it's just absolutely amazing. You feel the atmosphere, it's unreal.
These ribs are legendary, cooked by local food hero Andy Stubbs.
That's fantastic. How long have you been doing it, the street food down at Digbeth?
I've been cooking here for just over 3 years now.
So you're one of the old school?
If you can call it old school, yeah. Old school in this scene, yeah.
Well, I suppose that's what's great about street food is that although I'm eating it, I can see it being cooked.
It's the visual as well, isn't it?
And I can smell those aromas, and it's sort of like, I feel like I'm literally in the kitchen of your house, Andy, you know?
Yeah. So that's the brisket chilli that you've got there. So it's cooked with cumin, bay, some cassia bar. A bit messy.
How's that? Delicious. It's in my beard, it's down my sleeve. I think, to be honest with you, when that happens, you know you're in for fun, yeah? Cheers, Andy. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Anyway, it's Friday night and Glyn has to get back to his bricks and mortar restaurant. Now, one day, Andy and other stall holders here hope to have their own restaurants too. But tonight, even in a cold car park, people love their food.
What's so good about it?
It's fresh. After you have a lot of different kinds of foods in one place.
So I was told it was a great place to come, and I've never been before because I'm new to Birmingham, so it's fantastic.
I can try bits and bobs, and the prices are good, so I can try anything I want.
I just had a beautiful Canadian poutine.
What's that?
It's basically chips with gravy and peas curd. It sounds disgusting, but it's amazing.
Ah yes, did you notice that phone? Well, people love taking pictures of their food here.
Now all those pictures go to create a big online buzz about Birmingham street food. And the thing is, that buzz is attracting big restaurant chains into the city. And that's not good news for the little traders here. In fact, it leaves a bit of a nasty taste in the mouth.
Because those big national restaurant chains get all of the reflected foodie glamour of somewhere like Digbeth Dining Club while pushing up rents and sweeping up the best new restaurant spaces in town. Which is especially bad news for Andy because he's been trying to open his first proper restaurant for ages, but the big chains beat him to it every time.
How long have you been looking for a restaurant? What's been the problem?
I've been looking for about 1.5 years now. My main problem is just finding new buildings, finding where I can open the restaurant. I lie in bed at night. It's very worrying about how long we can continue to do this. We need to get into premises because we're kind of nomadic. We don't have a home at the moment.
No restaurant means no permanent kitchen either. Andy's ribs may be delicious, but they're also well travelled. I popped behind the street food scenes to see one of the places he's currently doing the actual cooking, right on the other side of the city.
So you're cooking at home, you're cooking at the pub and going between the two?
Yeah, just like doing circles of the city basically.
But the journey is worth it. This is where the magic happens.
We were cooking from a shed in my parents' garden. We've had complaints from the neighbours who don't like what I do, so we've moved out of there. And we travel around to different pubs and people lend us space to cook from. And then we drive down the road to where we're going tonight to Digbeth, set all our stall up and serve the food there.
Andy can make this journey 4 or 5 times a day.
You're doing all this, you're running around all the time, so actually finding a restaurant on top of that is going to be hard.
That is my problem. There's a lot of agents looking for buildings where the agent will tell somebody about it maybe before it comes on the market. So little old Andy from Low and Slow doesn't get to hear about the building, whereas somebody with X amount of money or X amount of restaurants already may hear about it before me.
So back at Digbeth Dining Club, while Andy starts serving his customers again, are his problems unusual? Or is there something going on here?
So what are the problems, what are the kind of issues that your street food members are facing when they try and move into restaurants?
Well, money for a start. It can be very expensive to lease out a restaurant in a city centre. More importantly, the landlords are reluctant to take a chance, and that's how they see it on a small independent business, perhaps unproven.
It's not just street food. Some of the city's bigger independent restaurants say they're facing the same problem. Tasty restaurant plans that are foiled by sky-high rent demands and national chains that grab all the best potential premises. Jabba Khan runs 4 of Birmingham's most successful restaurants. This one is all about lobster, ribs and burgers, messy food. And Jabba is not a fan of the big restaurant chains.
The reality is, look, chain operators put most of their investment and their revenue in paying for a prime site, and they hardly got much left for their produce and their people, and that should tell people as to whether it's the right choice to walk into a chain or not. Chains cannot offer what an independent can. Chain is designed to simplify, systemize and give you the bare minimum that they can get away with. Independents are driven by real passion for food, and they want to give you a true experience.
How easy are you finding it to find your premises?
If you want to make a success of it, you've got to find the right location, and it's difficult.
Let's talk to the people right at the top then, the developers and the landlords, the people who are making the city's new restaurant spaces. And where better to start than Birmingham's most glamorous building site?
We recently restored these windows and we made them slightly bigger so that this space will be connected better to the outside when it eventually opens.
This is the Grand Hotel. To Brummies, it's a familiar landmark in the heart of town, and it's in the middle of a massive makeover.
Wow. How much is it costing to bring the Grand back to life?
Well, the overall project will over £40 million, which we've spent over £20 million to date.
So you've got lots of spaces downstairs. Why not get in an independent street food trader, a restaurant down there?
Well, of course, when you've made that level of investment, shareholders do want to see a return on it. The rents are quite high, and really it is chains that can usually convince you that they can undertake that level of commitment and over a long period of time too.
Space in the revamped Grand could set you back £150,000 to £200,000 a year, and that's way beyond most independents. But Tony and his team have other properties, and they might be a better fit.
In places like Bennetts Hill and Piccadilly Arcade, we would hope that we could attract independents to those locations, and we've got a good track record of doing so.
Sadly, not all developers are quite so thoughtful about what they're bringing to the streets where we live and eat.
What we got to decide is what sort of city do we want, and I think the city that I want is full of independent operators offering fantastic food up and down the city. What we risk having is, like any other city, nothing to distinguish us apart, a chain up and down the street.
But all is not lost. A group of people, including landlords and developers, are looking for ways to at least help street food vendors make that move into their first proper restaurant, although maybe not in the city centre.
We're looking at more suburban areas, town centres, where we can create clusters of restaurants so people turn them into destinations, whether that's King's Heath High Street or Sturchley or anywhere else really in the West Midlands.
And what's your sort of aim? Have you got like a target for vendors, getting vendors into restaurants?
We're looking to get around 30 restaurants occupied by street food businesses over the next 2 years.
It's an idea they want to roll out right across the Midlands. And here at Digbeth Dining Club, good news for at least one vendor. Esme Stewart has been offered her first restaurant.
This is in Coventry?
In Coventry, yes. It's just such an amazing offer that they gave to us to be able to see our dreams and open a restaurant.
The people I've been talking to are all passionate about food, and they like street food partly because it's one of the things that makes where you live unique. It's like a football team. It makes your town your town.
And any town would be lucky to have Andy cooking away in his first proper restaurant.
We get people travel from all around the country coming to eat our food, which is amazing. So I just hope they'll bear with me and stick with me for when I do find the restaurant.
It is tough out there, but there are people who want to help these vendors achieve their restaurant dreams. Many of these passionate people and this amazing food could be coming to a street near you.